Hi everybody, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel, Hallmark Plus More, where we watch and talk about shows, movies, mysteries, Hallmark ornaments, and anything else that floats our boat. So today I'm going to be reviewing a Hallmark Channel movie called The Wish Swap. And before I get into my review, I just want to say thank you to everybody who likes my videos, subscribes to my channel, leaves me comments. I appreciate you so much. If you have any comments or questions about this movie, you can leave them below. And whenever I do a movie review, I always do a Gen rating. So stay with me at the end of the review so you can kind of get my Gen rating for the movie. So this movie I was looking forward to watching because I thought it was a cute concept. So two people are at a restaurant. They don't know each other. They're both celebrating their birthdays with their family and friends. So Casey is a headhunter and Henry owns, well, doesn't own, I guess he runs a dairy farm. So they're both kind of celebrating their birthday. Henry's family forgets to give him a cake. Casey's friends have this huge cake. So Casey's like, why don't we share it? We're never going to eat it all. It's both of our birthdays. Let's blow out the candles at the same time. So they blow out the candles at the same time and make a wish. And then the theory of the show is, or the plot of the show is their wishes were reversed. So I just thought that would be a cute concept. So and another side note, which I didn't know about this movie, which I loved, surprise, was Casey's best friend Jess is Rita from the Signed Sealed Delivered movies. So I love that actress. She's amazing. So I loved seeing her. So that's one of the great things about watching Hallmark movies is when you start watching it, you notice other actors and actresses kind of pop up with cameos or supporting roles, and it just makes the movie that much more enjoyable. So I loved that she was in it. I was like, yes, I love seeing her. So I definitely thought it was a great concept, right? Her wish was to dance on a show called Dance Your Heart Out, which she mentioned on the show was similar to Dancing with the Stars, except they're not celebrities. So, you get to pick your partner and you dance so many dances, and the judges, eliminate two couples a night or whatever it is. So she actually mentioned Dancing with the Stars, who I like. I like Dancing with the Stars. I don't always like some of the celebrities that are on there, but I like the concept. And I love watching the dancers. They're incredible on Dancing with the Stars. So I like that was part of her wish because I was like, yay, we get to see somebody dance. And Henry's wish is to own a farm. So he actually runs a dairy farm, but his dream is to own his own farm. So the night of their birthday party, she misses a call. And it's from an estate lawyer, to come in and talk to him. She goes in and finds out she inherited a farm. And then he gets a call from Dance Your Heart Out saying you were selected to be a contestant. So I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. So, they meet again. And she actually, there's one piece of cake left. She brings the cake to Henry and he's like, let's blow out the candles and see if we can get our wishes back. Because she's been dying to go on Dance Her Heart Out. She loves the show. So this is the very big dream of hers. So she's like begging Henry, please, I'll let you have the farm. You can come work on the farm. Please try out for Dance Your Heart Out. You get to pick your partner and I want that to be me, right? So Henry is convinced because he's always wanted to, own his own farm. So he's like, okay, I can, practice with you. And we can learn a dance. So they basically, made a deal. I'll dance with you on Dance Your Heart Out. I'll try out, and you can be my dance partner, which is your dream. And then, he likes the farm. It's small. He says he can fix it up. It's close to his job. So, that's kind of the deal. Now, to me, that's a lot of work, right? Because they both have their own jobs. They have to find time to practice dancing and they have to find time to fix up this farm, right? So the first time he's on the show, they can dance whatever they want, I guess. And he's terrible. I don't even know how they picked him. It's a movie, so of course they picked him. But, he became one of the finalists, which was six dancers. And they pull like a a type of dance out of a hat. So the first dance is the waltz. So they have to learn how to waltz. So that was kind of nice. They're learning. And they have kind of like a heart to heart about their childhood, right? Because dancing is intimate, not necessarily like a sexual intimacy, but it's very personal. It's a connection. So I feel like if you're dancing close to close, close with somebody, and you're learning a dance routine, you're with somebody in that, hold and that closeness for a long time. So I feel like, you do get to know your partner. I don't know many people that dance together that hate each other or strangers. It's very an intimate setting. So it fell in line for me that they kind of talked about their childhood and had a heart to heart while they were practicing the waltz, because you're kind of in that stance and you're in that kind of position, so to speak. So and he wasn't really getting the steps, and she was like, close your eyes, kind of trust me, kind of go with the flow. And once he started doing that, he started picking up on the dance. So like I say, the first round was waltz. They make it to the second round, which is swing dancing, which I think would be totally fun. So now they have to learn a second dance. And he's a little upset because he thought it was just one dance. So when he gets there and finds out there's like elimination rounds, and he sees the other couples are really good, she's like, don't worry, we won't make it past round one, right? And that's all you have to do. But they keep advancing. So they end up in 3 rounds, the waltz, which they do, then they do the swing, and then the last round is the tango. So you can see them practice different dances throughout. But then there's a little bit of a twist in the movie. You find out that Casey just didn't make one wish. She wished for her birthday list. She makes a birthday wish list every year, and it involves 3 different things, not the same things. Every year's different, but she writes down 3 birthday wishes on a birthday list that she wants to come true that year. So, the first one was dance on Dance Your Heart Out. So Henry's a little taken back. He's like, hey, I promised to do this. I don't like dancing on national television. What are the other things on your list? Because he gets a random phone call from some famous comedian saying, hey, I have an opening for an opening act. I saw your little bit on TV and you guys were funny. Do you want to be my opening act? So of course he says no. Because that's even more embarrassing if you don't do stand-up. Stand-up comedy is very hard to do. Oh, well, all you have to do is make up jokes and people laugh, but that's hard to do. So I love comedy. I love stand-up comedy. It's hard to find good comedy that's clean, because a lot of the comedy is dirty. But anyways, side note, I do love comedy. So I understand why you said no, because it is a very difficult profession. You have to create jokes and make sure they're funny, and they're relatable. And then you always gotta, get new jokes and new laughs, so to speak, new concepts, new jokes, new routines. So, I do think it's difficult. So I understand why you said no. But then Casey, you find out that's the second thing on her birthday list. So her first one was Dance Your Heart Out. Her second was to do comedy stand-up. Like improv or an opening act or something. So she's like, Henry, we have to do it. And Henry's like, no, I did the dance your heart out. I don't want to do it. So she actually sweetens the pot, which I thought was pretty impressive. She's like, I'll give you half ownership of the farm. You will own it 50%, and you can live in the farmhouse free for 2 years, no matter what. Even if we get in a fight, like, it's yours. So, and and Casey's like, you can quit your job since you're going to own half the farm. We're going to make it profitable. You don't have to pay rent. You can live rent free for 2 years. So I'm like, how can he say no? I mean, he owns 50% of a farm now, right? So of course he agrees to do it. They practice a swing dancing. You can see them working on the farm as Casey's trying to learn, the ins and outs, everyday routine of the farm. And they're also working on their comedy routine. You see them with like flashcards trying to be funny. So, they get they're doing a lot of things together. So you do see Jess, the actress Frida from Signs So Delivered, she's in scenes, and then he has a niece named Charlotte, so that's kind of who talks to him. So you kind of have like, the other people in each other's lives. But yeah, it shows them together doing everything. They're getting along great. It's really the music that they play in this movie while they're doing these things, like the background music is great. Really spot on for what they're doing. I loved that. And they do the stand-up comedy act, and I loved it. Like I say, I love stand-up comedy. Anything that makes you happy, makes you laugh, it's upbeat. I love that. Like I say, don't go dirty, don't go political, just keep it light, fluffy, funny, happy. That's why I love it. But they do great. He's really nervous and he's almost like a deer in headlights, and she plays off of his energy, and I love that. She got everybody laughing. She actually had Jess and Charlotte be in the audience. So she actually planned that out. Like, look, hey, if we bomb up there, I've got people to talk to. Henry didn't know that, but since he was so like stunned and like frozen, she actually called on them in the audience, and it lightened everything up. So I thought their comedy act was great, and I just love the little twist in the movie. And then the third thing on the list. So the third thing on her birthday wish list, she won't tell Henry. She's like, it doesn't concern you. It's only mine. Don't worry. That's it. The dance her heart out in the comedy. That's it. But you don't really find out what the third thing on the list is throughout the movie. So me being the mystery, in me, I love puzzles. I love mystery movies. I love mysteries, trying to figure things out. I'm already thinking, like, what could her third thing be that she doesn't want to tell Henry? So in my mind, it's like, find a boyfriend or fall in love or something to that nature, because she was very adamant that she A, didn't want to tell Henry, and B, it had nothing to do with Henry. C, he didn't have to help. So I was like, why would she be so secretive? And how was she so, certain that she wouldn't need Henry's help? Because it was something about her emotions and feelings. So you do find out it is, that she wanted to fall in love. So I was kind of saying they're doing so much at once, working on the farm, practicing their dance routines, practicing their comedy acts since they did that. And she got tired and she fell asleep. So he put a blanket over her so she could sleep. But her laptop was up because she was doing work. Remember, she's a headhunter. She's got presentations. So he looks at her laptop and sees the third thing, fall in love. So she wakes up the next morning and she kind of realizes that he saw her laptop. So she's pissed because she feels like it was the invasion of her privacy. She told him she didn't want to tell him, and he kind of went behind her back. So she's kind of upset. She confronts him, breaks off the deal, says goodbye, like, I'm done. Then Casey talks to Jess, the Signs So Delivered actress. Love her. And Charlotte, Henry's niece, they both kind of talk to them in separate scenes. You can kind of see them both having like pep talks with them. And the pep talks were great. I loved what they said. They were just saying, like, I know you. And they were just kind of saying, honestly, this is your flaw, Casey. This is your flaw, Henry. And kind of trying to get them back together, at least talk. So I actually thought that was a great scene, very honest, and I feel like realistic when Charlotte was like, Uncle Henry, da 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 da, and Jess was like, this about yourself. So I thought that was really good. They do their final dance, which is the tango. And they do great. Like, they weren't even gonna go, right? Because she kind of said, forget it, bye. And then she just shows up and they run and they do the tango. So I loved that. It seemed like it was very realistic. So in the end, they do the tango, and you don't really know if they win, because winning or losing isn't really why they were doing it in the first place. So I kind of like that. They didn't take the 3 minutes in a movie and show them getting the trophy and giving an interview with the winners. I kind of liked, like, it just ended the dancing scene with them dancing the tango and doing great. And then, you see them together, and she tells them, like, look, I quit my job. I'm going to start my own business. And she's going to spend more time on the farm. Because remember, she owns half of it too, but now that she gave Henry half. And Henry quit his job, right? Because now he's going to work on that farm. So it was kind of sweet because she was a headhunter, but Jess and her work family was telling her, you work too much. And she didn't really have family, so I feel like work was her family. She was just there all the time. She never delegated, she never let anybody help her, and just kind of pointed that out, like, hey, you need to delegate and let other people help you. So she's basically going to start her own company to kind of, and I know that sounds crazy because when people start their own company, they work even more, right? Because they're their own boss and they're working hard to make a profit. But in this case, they're making it sound like she's going to own her own business so she has more free time. So, and again, it's just a movie, but in real life, it's usually the opposite when you start your own business. But they kind of have a heart to heart, and Henry's like, yeah, I'm going to stay and work on the farm. And then as they're talking, it kind of, they start dancing. As kind of as a comfort, just to show as a sweet moment. And then as the camera kind of goes outward from them, you see the little trophy in the corner. So I like that. So they did win the competition, but they didn't actually talk about it. You just see it in kind of like the ending scene. So I thought that was really cute. So that's kind of how the movie ended. So again, I thought it was a little different. I like the little twist in the movie where it wasn't just, her wish. She had a wish list of 3 things. And the second one was stand up comedy, which I would be terrified to do, but I love watching it. And I know how difficult it is to be a comic. So I respect it. And I love watching that part too, because it was a different side to Casey, because he was all stiff and she kind of had to ad lib and improv. And I just thought it was a really cute scene. And then I love having that mystery, so to speak, of what's the third thing, which I guessed it was her falling in love. But it was still sweet to kind of have that little kind of twist throughout the movie. So anytime I do a movie review, I hope you enjoyed the movie. I like to do my gen rating. So usually when my rating system really is just a couple things: what I loved about it, what I disliked about it, was it believable? Like, did I believe the story or the actors who are playing it? And then the overall feels of the movie. So I was just telling you what I loved about it. I love that they did a little spin with having more birthday wishes. I love dancing. I love comedy. So I loved that that was in the movie. And I loved that he, ran a dairy farm, but his dream was to have his own farm. So I loved that. I loved to see, the actors from the Signed, Sealed, Delivered movies. That was such a bonus for me. I loved seeing that. Not really much that I disliked, because I really liked the flow of the movie. So honestly, I can't really pick one thing that I disliked. I thought it went well. I especially like that, like I said earlier, they didn't focus on winning the competition. They just kind of closed the book of them dancing and did a great job. And at the end, you see the trophy in the corner. So I actually really liked that they didn't take the time to show that they won. The focus was more on them connecting, and then they're saying how they're going to, stay together, and, she's going to take on a different role, start her business. He's going to run the farm and she's going to help out on the farm. So that was fun too, to see her kind of out of her element, feeding the chickens and trying to do the chores on the farm. So I liked that. I really did. And I did believe the actors. I believed, that was her dream. Like I said, I loved the whole flow of the movie. The overall feels of it, I loved it, because like I said, they had a couple things that I personally liked. So I like that was incorporated in the movie. So for this movie, like I said, I usually just give my gen rating of what I feel about the movie. So for this movie, I am actually going to give this movie 5 gold crowns. So 5 out of 5 for this movie. I really enjoyed it. I just like that it had that twist, and I really felt like the characters were very believable, and had great chemistry together. So yes, definitely love seeing, the cameo and the guest from the Signed Sealed Delivered movies, but everybody else just worked really well together in the movie, and I thought there was some really relatable scenes. So for my Gen rating out of 5 gold crowns, I give this movie 5 out of 5 gold crowns. So I hope you enjoyed my review. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave them below, and I will see you next time. Bye.